There's something I've been reflecting on a lot lately, and it's how easy it is for social media to feel a sense of inadequacy. You scroll through, you see the highlight reels of other people's lives, the trips and the busy schedules, the friendships, the constant doing, and for a long time, I thought that's what I needed to do. That if I could just keep up, I'd finally feel fulfilled. But here's the truth, even when you get the thing that you thought you wanted, that feeling doesn't stay. The comparison never really ends. I used to live that way. I said yes to everything. I worked 40 hours plus a week, studied full time, forced in exercise, tried to maintain a busy social life, filled in every corner of my schedule just to prove to myself and maybe to others that I was living life to the fullest, quote unquote. On the outside, I looked healthy, productive, put together, but inside, I was exhausted all the time. I ignored my body's signals, pushed past every limit, and eventually I crashed. My immune system completely broke down. I ended up in the hospital. I was completely disconnected from my body and my mind. I didn't even find out I was pregnant till 16 weeks along, and I think that might have been why. So I had to relearn, to strip away all the noise, to start listening again. Now my life looks very different. Some might even call it boring, and that's exactly why I love it. I wake up with the sun and go to bed early, most nights. I spend most of my days at home. I cook nearly everything from scratch. I find joy in the rhythm of chopping vegetables, in the smell of bread baking, in watching my son push his toy cars across the kitchen floor while I clean, in the mundane. My everyday looks more or less the same, but it's full of meaning, stitched together by little moments of joy. And this ordinary, so-called boring life is truly what fulfills me. Part of this is simply circumstance. We're a low-income one-car family in a small rural town. There's no public transit, so when my partner takes the car to work, Makai and I stay at home. For some people, that would feel limiting, but for me, it has become a gift. It forced me to slow down, to live within our means, and to discover just how little it actually takes for us to feel content. Because for me, a priority was staying at home with my son over money. A walk outside, a new recipe, hearing Makai laugh, that's more than enough for me. When I was younger, I thought happiness meant being out all the time. I thought I needed as many friends as possible, constant plans, nights out, loud social circles, but honestly, that never made me happy. I had friends just to have friends so I wouldn't look weird for not having friends. I gave in to peer pressure. I drank more than I wanted to admit. I confused busyness with fulfillment, but now as a mom in my late 20s, my mindset has completely changed. I choose my friends selectively, I protect my energy, and what truly fills my cup is simple. Being at home with my son, cooking nourishing foods, going for slow walks, going to the beach, being outside most of the time, or just playing board games with my family. Society tells us that being boring is the worst thing you could ever be, that you have to be extravagant and have lots of money, that happiness equals money, equals more things, equals chasing the next big milestone. But I've learned that if you can't find contentment in the ordinary moments, you'll spend your whole life chasing something that can't be caught. I think that's the beauty of this life, to celebrate the small wins, to enjoy the getting there instead of rushing past it, to honor the parts of ourselves that find joy in things others might call lame. Because honestly, I don't care anymore what people think. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that we live on a pretty modest income. We have one car, we have a small house with many issues in a less desirable location. We don't go out often. We don't spend a lot of money on gas. We keep our budget for groceries very minimal. But what I learned is that living slowly and simply actually saves me money, and with that money saved comes freedom. Freedom to stay at home with my son, freedom to create instead of consume, freedom to breathe, freedom of time, which in today's society, most people don't have that luxury. And I would choose freedom of time over money any day. And honestly, no amount of shopping or fancy outings has ever given me the kind of peace I feel when I'm home, stirring a pot of homemade soup and playing with my toddler. And because we're not constantly consuming or trying to keep up with the Joneses, the money we do save can go towards what actually matters to us. Sometimes that means saving all year so we can take Makai to Kauai to visit his other family. Other times, it's choosing to invest on items that will support our health long term. But we aren't mindlessly spending. We buy items with intention of what we actually value rather than buying things just because or to keep up with the trends. And the more I slow down, the more grateful I become. Gratitude for food on our table, for the laughter in our home, for my healthy body, mind, and soul, for the ordinary rhythm of the day. Gratitude for the things I once overlooked, like clean sheets or just warm sunlight on my skin and having a healthy, moving body. Living simply has taught me that the things we take for granted are often the very things we'll miss the most one day. I no longer numb myself with TV or drinking. I don't feel the pressure to say yes to everything. I've traded hustle culture for slow motherhood, for intentional days, for a calmer nervous system. I discovered that healing doesn't look like adding more, it actually looks like subtracting. And this so-called boring life has given me freedom. So maybe it doesn't look exciting from the outside, but this life, this ordinary, slow, intentional, boring life, it's the most beautiful thing I've ever built, and I finally feel content.